Hi, Tom Swallow here, and you're watching EV Powered. And today we're going to be doing an in-depth review of the VW ID.3. Now, this is the Pro model, and it's the first time look at this vehicle. So if you're coming from an ICE vehicle or another EV, you're looking to go compact, this is perhaps the one for you. So let us take a look. So, first impressions of the ID.3. Now, I get an image of the VW Up. Now, we shouldn't really be talking about petrol diesel cars in EV powered, but just to give you an idea of what this looks like, it's a very short, compact vehicle, and that's kind of the vibe that I get. So, what I really like about the new VW range is they've kind of switched away from the old sort of plasticky chrome style logo, and they've gone for the white, which I think just matches the essence of the vehicle. You can also see their sort of old GTI sort of style range had this kind of shape in the bumper, but they've kind of done a little bit different with it. They've put the grooves in here, making it sort of that sportier style. Obviously the plastic trim in the bottom there and things like that. So now we haven't been able to test this in the night, but just looking at the Matrix headlights during the day, they do look really smart and they kind of match the style of the vehicle. You've also got this kind of added interest, a little dimple in the bonnet there, just adds a little bit extra, which you wouldn't have got before in the VW range. Anyway, VW has always been known for its humble looking designs. Now, very simplistic lines along the edge here. I've been really interested by the wheels on this vehicle. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen one of those flat balls, you know, when you pack it into a Frisbee, throw it, and it kind of pops open into a ball. That's the kind of the shape they've gone for with the wheels here. But nevertheless, they've kept the white logo, which I think is really nice. There's not much to say. So moving along the side now, sorry, it's a bit windy out here today, but so you've got the fold-in wing mirrors, a little bit of plastic trim on the bottom of the skirt there. Now, they haven't gone for the similar style of door handle that they put in their new ID.5, which is kind of a more, it's a cutout with a button on the inside. You're just getting a standard door handle like that. Oh, coming closer. Now, I don't know if you heard that, but when you shut the door, it sounds like a Golf. Now, VW's never been overly shouty about its cars, but I really like the fact that they've actually paid a bit more attention to the end of the ID.3. Obviously, you've got parking sensors in the back there, white trims here with a nice white ID.3 badge on the back there, sort of right in the middle. Nice sort of 3D rear tail light there, a spoiler style kind of piece on the top here, and obviously round to the charger on this side. There we go. And there's your plug socket there. Oh, and almost forgot. So we've got the boot here, the standard VW way of lifting up the logo. Now, you've got a fair amount of space in here. There is the charger in the bottom underneath the floor there, the false floor. But I do think that they do kind of take up quite a lot of space with that. And actually, they could probably put the charging plug somewhere else in the vehicle, which reminds me, we haven't actually looked at the bonnet. So let's get around there. Now, I'm sure with that loss of space in the boot, there's going to be a bit of extra room in the bonnet, because in EVs, you don't necessarily have to have that space in the boot. If I can find the lever, where's the lever? Okay, and oh, kind of looks like I've got an engine in here. Hey. I had the same problem with my 2012 Golf, but that's like 12 years old. Let's try this. Ah, there we go. Okay, let's get a bit fresh, so we're gonna go and jump in the car. Come over here. Everyone starts in the front, I thought I'd start in the back. Now, of course, if you're driving an EV, you're going to want to be sustainable. Therefore, you're going to have passengers in your car because you're going to share your rides. But realistically, though, there's plenty of space in the back here for me. I'm about 5'11" to 6 foot. I don't necessarily feel too cooped up in the back here. Now we've got a unique trim on here. It's called sort of a shiny plastic here, and you can kind of fit your hand in quite snug. Clearly, the driver's going to be driving manically in this because you're going to be holding on like that. While I'm on the subject of that, I just want to talk about the power. So 0 to 60 in 7.4 seconds, and you can definitely feel it when you press the little play button on there. I'll get the producer to show you the buttons, the pause and the play button at the front there. You're getting around 150 kilowatts of power in the new metric, but if you're old school, it's around 200 horsepower. Charging this car takes about 30 minutes to get to 180 miles. The total range of this, sort of the combined WLTP range, is around 266 miles. Now, we haven't tested that range on the road today, but needless to say, this makes a great little commuter car, actually for long trips as well, if you're willing to take the time to charge. Really great car for that. So you can have 4 people in here quite comfortably, maybe 5. Obviously, you haven't got a battery in there, so you've got a nice flat floor there. Still sounds like a Golf. Now, when you jump in the car, obviously it turns on itself, and oh, you can't see that, but there's a heads-up display. Now, that's one of the new things that they've put in the car. It's kind of a digital display you can see right in front of your eyes, and it's actually quite disorientating. I'm not sure if I need my glasses on because it is a little bit blurry in the front there, but it shows you, particularly when you've got the sat-nav on, I'll come to that in a minute, but when you've had the sat-nav on, it kind of shows you the turns, indications, things like that, right in front of your eyes. Might be a bit weird for a natural driver, but definitely something I could get used to. Now, I'm going to admit, when I got in the car, I did take a few minutes purely because I couldn't find the park button. And that's because it's here. I just didn't really look. I was kind of sitting here thinking, you know, is it going to be right in front of me? But actually it is kind of on the edge there. I think once you get used to that, you'll be fine. The only tricky part is when you're kind of parking, if you're not using park assist in this, and again, get to that in a second. I drive with kind of my dominant right hand, and I've also got the switch here, whereas I guess I would probably prefer it here so I can move and maneuver a bit quicker. Park assist, I did attempt to use the park assist on here, but we've got a very empty car park and you have to wait for the park assist to actually pick up a space. Now, I don't know if that's set up whether you've got cars around you and things like that, and it finds a gap for you based on the cars around. Something technical that probably should have looked up, but it wasn't needed, but I thought I'd give it a go, and clearly it doesn't work in an empty space, which is fine. Doesn't need to work like that. Now, the sat-nav, I did manage to find it eventually. I'm not really sure how I did. Not gonna lie, I did just press a load of buttons because I couldn't really work out. There's no sort of natural way to find it. Maybe if I go back again, I might be able to do it properly, but for someone jumping in the car, it might be a bit tricky. But like I say, you've got park menus here. Might not work because I'm not driving. Climate control there, assistance, other modes. What modes have we got here? Now, these buttons they're not really buttons. They're not really touch either. That mode's not doing anything. I think I need to be driving for the mode and the parking menu. I do like the fact that you've got a little screen in front of you. It's not too invasive, but also it's kind of in a easy view. And obviously when you move the steering wheel like this, so if you're putting it back, putting it forward, you can kind of maneuver it, but the screen kind of stays in the same place, so you're not having to like nudge your seat down just so you can kind of look at the speed that you're going. Now, we've got obviously some stitched interior trims here, running along here. This kind of swoops all the way around to the edge. Nice little net here. I guess I could probably, that's the key, but maybe put my phone in there. You've also got, is this a charging? Let me double check. That's not charging. No. But if you've got 2 phones, for a businessman maybe, you've got 2 phones, you can have a slot for each. So plenty of center console space in here. Now you could definitely fit quite a lot of stuff in there, although I don't like to have too much stuff in, so that probably will fill up quite quickly for anyone else, but you can fit 2 phones in there. 2 cup holders. Now, our producer's only got 1 in his Polestar, and there's something else he can't do, which is get his leg over and actually switch seats. Just like that. Now, with the trims in this car, as I mentioned, the sort of stitched bit here, they do kind of, I think VW kind of goes for some quality materials in some places, but then you kind of see further down where they can hide the plastics, the cheaper plastics in the bottom there. I quite like the seats. Now they're kind of a sporty styling, got the ID logo on there and a kind of a suede finish to them. Now I think we're in the perfect position to show you the start and pause buttons, not the stop button, start and pause buttons down there, just to show you that we're driving an electric car, not a petrol. So overall, even as a passenger in this car, it's very sort of robust inside, like, you know, nothing's coming off anywhere anytime soon. Very comfortable, plenty of room in this one. Yeah, as much as I love driving it, I'm sure I'd love being a passenger in this as well. Right, now I'm back in the driver's seat. Let's take this ID.3 for a spin. Now I've definitely fallen in love with this car a little bit. I'm a big fan of a small nippy hatchback, especially when it's got some of the power that this thing does. One of the things that surprised me the most with this car actually, because you expect it to have very sort of clunky suspension, but actually it is very smooth, particularly on some of the poor roads that we're driving on today. However, when it comes to sitting on a dual carriageway and taking a longer journey, I could imagine this is a pretty good car for sitting back and just, you know, enjoying the ride. Oh, we've got a Tesla behind us. One of the things I noticed with this as well, it doesn't instantly put regen braking on. So you've got the D/B on the dashboard here. So if you want that regen braking, you have to switch it on. I don't think it's as good as the ID.5 and ID.7s. When I switched those on, it seemed to do a little bit more and brake a little bit harder when it needed to. Perhaps it's because we're moving quite slowly at the minute, but we'll test that out hopefully on this drive. All in all, if I drove, for example, a VW Golf, even a GTI model, it's one of the petrol ones, I definitely would get in this and think to myself, why am I not driving this car? Although there is the price tag for that matter, so it's probably one of your biggest factors in getting something like this. So that's the VW ID.3 Pro model. Now, I think this is a great model for a daily driver, for example, trips to the shops, trips to work, things like that. And if you really need to take a weekend trip, you've got that extra range in the car and the comfort as well inside to make that trip. So I've been Tom Swallow, this is EV Powered, and that's our review of the ID.3.